Hi everyone, this is Doc Mitch. Today I'm going to talk about dengue fever. Now, dengue fever has already become a national epidemic. From January to July, 142,062 cases have been reported already, na 98% higher than the census that was gathered from last year. And out of that 142,062 cases, 622 sadly led to death. So it's very important na we know about this disease entity. I know there have been a lot of discussions already, vlogs, and then even articles that have been written. Kaya lang, mas magandang paulit-ulit nating pag-usapan ito because there's really nothing wrong with becoming more equipped, more aware, and then para alam natin kung paano natin to iiwasan, alam natin kung anong gagawin natin kung sakaling we suspect that one of our loved ones has a possibility of dengue fever, right? It is a mosquito-borne viral infection, and the mosquito strains that actually are the dengue-carrying virus strains are the Aedes aegypti and Aedes albopictus, okay? Actually, the fastest-spreading vector-borne disease in the world, affecting 100 countries and a total of 390 million people worldwide every year. In fact, half of the world's population is at risk according to the WHO. So very, very important that we are actually aware of disease, we know what to do, we know how to avoid it, and we know the course of the illness. There is actually 4 serotypes of dengue virus, and usually the first attack is non-severe, and most of the time it's asymptomatic. The more severe types or the more severe manifestations usually happens during your second, third, or your fourth infection. Now, sad to say that there is really no treatment for dengue, but it can easily be managed, and the management will actually depend on the manifestation. For mild cases, we usually just hydrate, so increase water intake, and we give paracetamol. And for severe cases, we need to hospitalize to monitor the platelet and then to also hydrate the patient in a more effective way through IV fluids. Let's talk about prevention first. Now, there is a program that has been initiated by our government called Sabayang 4 o'clock Habit para Dengue Get Out. Ano to? Now, this is actually encouraging people to get out of their houses at around 4 o'clock in the afternoon to actually look for areas where there is stagnant water para maglinis, para makita kung merong mga areas na pinamumugaran na ng mga itlog ng mga lamok. So, that's actually the 4 o'clock habit. Now, bakit 4 o'clock? Usually, the dengue carrying mosquito is actually a day-biting mosquito. So, usually, it's in the morning, nag-a-attack, and around 4 to 5 p.m. also. Kaya dinevelop ang 4 o'clock habit. Then there's the 4S strategy, okay? Number 1 of which is search and destroy breeding places. Ito na yung parang 4 o'clock habit na make sure na malinis ang kapaligiran, walang mga balde na walang cover, walang mga areas sa may mga stagnant water, linisin ang gutter, make sure na talagang malinis ang kapaligiran para hindi pinamumugaran ng lamok. Second is self-protective measures. Anong ibig sabihin nun? Number 1, is kung hindi naman ganun kainit, although maalinsangan tayo ngayon, it's pa-Christmas na pero mainit pa rin ang panahon. But if it's not too hot, you can actually wear long sleeves. Pero my advice is you wear clothes that are lighter color. Na mosquitoes love dark colored clothing, black, midnight blue, yung mga medyo dark, they like that, they're attracted to that. So try to avoid wearing dark colored clothes. Number 2, you can actually use insect repellents. Example, okay, I'm not promoting any brand, I'm just showing what's available in my house. So these are insect repellents, pwedeng gamitin, but ang pag-apply hindi lang once kasi natatanggal siya ng sweat. So intermittently mag-a-apply ka, lagay mo lang sa bag mo. Kung ayaw mo naman yung amoy ng citronella in your skin and you get irritated with it, actually pwede rin na yung mga mosquito patches na ginagamit natin sa mga anak natin. So but instead of putting it here, funny naman kung meron kang sticker dito sa labas ng t-shirt mo, what you can do is dun sa lilis ng pantalon or sa ilalim ng damit, pwede mong i-stick dun yung sticker Tapos, this would last for 1 to 2 days. After that, just remember to remove it. And then, this will actually be effective also in warding off the mosquitoes because of the smell that it emits. Okay? So, number 3 is seek early consultation. Now, if you see signs and symptoms of a possible dengue infection, it's better to see your doctor already. Do not self-medicate anymore. Do not just say na parang, uy, lagnat lang to, or sumasakit lang siguro yung mga kasukasuan ko kasi parang pagod na pagod ako ngayon and stuff. It's better to be OA. Yun yung sinasabi namin. Mas OA, mas maganda. Kung wala, edi thank God, diba? Pero kung meron, at least na catch natin early. And then the fourth, I'm just going to look at my list, is say yes to fogging if there's impending outbreak. Now, yung mga barangay captain natin, they go out naman. They talk to us about it. They try to what you call this, also look at the places na pwedeng pamugaran ng lamok. And kung nakita nila na medyo malaki ang chance or marami ng cases ng dengue sa lugar nyo, pumayag na kayo sa fogging para mapatay na agad yung mga lamok. Usually, dengue is more frequent during the rainy season. Actually, nasa rainy season tayo kahit na ang init-init ngayon. Pero biglang umuulan, tapos ayan na, meron na mga collection of water from the rain. So, na pwede nang pamugaran ng lamok. Actually, pwede na sila dumangitlog, tapos doon na dumadami na ang mga lamok. Now, when do you see or when do you suspect dengue? Now, if your child actually has fever and does not seem to be getting any better, consider dengue, okay? Mas maganda ng OA tayo. Pupunta tayo sa doktor, OA tayo, sabihin ng doktor sa atin na it's either dengue or hindi siya dengue. So, very important, kung hindi gumagaling ang anak, may 2 araw na hindi gumagaling ang sinat, mas maganda na magpakonsulta na. Next, actually, ang fever or ang manifestation ng dengue can go from mild to severe. So, yan ang usual manifestation yan is non-specific. Para lang talagang lagnat lang siya na ordinaryo. May fever, masasakit ang buto-buto, masakit ang ulo. Yan usually ang complaint ng mga pasyente. Now, who are more prone to dengue hemorrhagic fever? Ito yung mga pasyente na nagka-dengue na dati at yung mga pasyente na medyo mababa ang immune system. Actually, ang mga medyo mas bata, like yung mga 0 to 1 year old, yan hindi masyadong mga mataas ang manifestation or severe ang manifestation ng dengue. Actually, ang mga pinaka-prone talaga sa dengue are those who are 5 years old to 9 years old. Okay? Example, naisip mo na probably may fever ang anak mo or ikaw ay may fever and you had a probable exposure for the past 7 days to mosquito bites, and then you start having abdominal pain, medyo nauseated ka, para ka nasusuka, masasakit ang mga kasukasuan, medyo masakit yung likod ng mata or retroorbital pain na tinatawag namin, may headache, tapos medyo flushed ka, namumula, baka dengue ito. So mas maganda magpakonsulta na. So when will you suspect na possible dengue fever ang meron sa'yo? So, if you had sudden onset of fever for the past 2 to 7 days with 2 of the following symptoms. Now, number 1 is headache, body weakness, pains ng muscles and joints or masakit ang mga kasukasuan, you have pain behind the eyes, so parang retroorbital pain, you have nausea, you have vomiting, you have sore throat, you have lack of appetite, and then you may have rashes. Categorized according to severity. So number 1, there's the dengue without warning signs. Number 2, dengue with warning signs. And number 3, severe dengue. And I will be discussing each one in detail. Go first to the mildest form of dengue, which is dengue without warning signs. And this is further divided into dengue suspect, probable dengue, and confirmed dengue. Now, allow me to get my list so that we will not miss out on anything. So, dengue without warning signs, dengue suspect, is when you have acute viral illness within 1 to 7 days plus 2 of the following. So, I will be enumerating, so take note of this. So, plus 2 of the following symptoms. Headache, body weakness, retroorbital pain, muscle pain, joint pains, lack of appetite, nausea and vomiting, diarrhea, and flushed skin, and rashes. Okay? So, I repeat. Dengue suspect is acute viral illness within 1 to 7 days plus 2 of the following. Ulitin ko. Headache, body weakness, okay, retroorbital pain, muscle pain, joint pains, anorexia or lack of appetite, nausea and vomiting, diarrhea, flushed skin, and rashes. Patient is categorized as probable dengue when the patient is dengue suspect now with positive lab results. Now, what are the lab results that I'm talking about? The dengue NS1 and CBC with decreasing WBC count and decreasing platelet count, or a positive IgM in the dengue antigen test. And the patient is a confirmed dengue case if the patient is either a suspect or a probable case, plus now a positive result of viral culture or the other confirmatory tests like the PCR, the NAT-LAMP, and then the PRNT. Patient is categorized under the dengue with warning signs when the patient is previously well and suddenly develops acute onset of fever within 1 to 7 days with one of the following things that I will be reading or mentioning to you. Number 1, abdominal pain or tenderness. The patient can have persistent vomiting. Now, the patient can have clinical signs of fluid accumulation like ascites or may tubig sa tiyan. Okay, meron ng mucosal bleeding, meron ng gum bleeding, or meron ng nosebleed. Okay, the patient feels very tired, lethargic, and then restless. Medyo, alam mo, hindi siya mapakali, masasakit ang mga kasukasuan niya. Pwedeng may liver enlargement, or pwedeng increase ang hematocrit, and then decreasing platelet. Severe dengue is diagnosed when there's severe plasma leakage leading to shock. So, madami siyang fluid loss leading to shock and pwedeng fluid accumulation, especially in the lungs. So, nahirapan na huminga ang pasyente. There is severe bleeding from all possible sites of bleeding. And there may be severe organ impairment. There is now, what do you call this? Seizures, impaired consciousness, tutulog-tulog na lang ang pasyente. Tapos, medyo nagigib up na yung heart, nag-give up na yung other organs. So, nagkakaroon na ng multiple organ failure. There are 3 phases of the infection. The first phase is the febrile phase. Now, this would last for 2 to 7 days. And then sometimes, mild hemorrhagic manifestations can occur like petechiae. So, medyo may mga red spots. Tapos, you have occasional mucosal bleeding like nosebleed or gum bleed. And then, at this time, it's very important to watch out for the warning signs so that we know and we recognize the progression of the disease. So, what are the warning signs again? Yun yung may abdominal pain, persistent bleeding, tutulog-tulog na ang pasyente, medyo mas marami ng bleeding from other sources. So, these are some of the warning signs that I mentioned previously that you have to really watch out for. Period is the period wherein the patient can either improve or deteriorate. Now, you note here now the lysis of fever. So, mawawala na ang fever within 3 to 7 days of the illness. And then the temperature of the body can actually go down to as low as 37.8 to 38 degrees. Now, if with improvement, then the patient is diagnosed with dengue fever without warning signs. But if the patient does not improve, then the patient can either be diagnosed with dengue fever with warning signs or severe dengue. Now, very important to note that when warning signs occur, severe dengue can actually follow agad. It usually happens within 24 to 48 hours from the lysis of fever. So, very important na nababantayan ng mga pasyente. After the critical phase comes the recovery phase. And this happens within the next 40 to 72 hours after the body fluids actually now go back to normal. Okay, the general well-being of the patient starts to improve, so the patient starts to eat now, the patient starts to feel better. Okay, now and then you notice now a classical rash. It's something that I will show you in the screen. Okay, so it's now called the Isles of White and Sea of Red. Okay, so itong rash na to parang namumula in general, tas when you press it, actually hindi siya nagbablanch, hindi siya naglalighten, tas may mga patches of white skin within the parang sea of red. Okay, tapos WBC count starts to rise, after which pag medyo nag-start na siya mag-rise, now the platelet will now follow na mag-i-increase na rin. How do we manage dengue? So, those patients who can actually stay at home are those patients who are able to tolerate oral fluids, so kaya nilang uminom ng marami. They actually urinate every 6 hours, tapos walang warning signs, and then sa monitoring sa CBC, very stable ang hematocrit. kailangan i-admit ang pasyente pag may warning signs, if you see warning signs, or if there are no warning signs but there are coexisting conditions that may actually make the whole condition more complicated, like the patient is pregnant. So kasi pregnant women are actually more prone to dengue, okay? Pag baby, pag matatanda, pag meron diabetes, merong hypertension, merong mga chronic kidney diseases, merong mga blood dyscrasias, or meron mga heart failure. So yung mga yon, or yung condition, social condition wherein walang mag-aalaga sa kanya sa bahay. So no one can actually monitor what's going on. So yung mga importante na ma-admit din ng mga pasyenteng ganito. Who are the patients who actually need immediate admission within 24 hours? These are the patients with severe dengue conditions na needing emergency treatment and management, okay? These are patients who are in the critical phase with severe plasma leakage. So meron na silang ascites, may difficulty in breathing kasi nag-accumulate na yung fluid sa lungs. The patient is in shock, okay? Or may mga severe hemorrhages. She's bleeding in all possible sites of bleeding. Nosebleed, nagbe-bleed sa wiwi, nagbe-bleed sa stool, lahat ng tusukan sa kanya nagbe-bleed, or those patients showing severe organ impairment, meron ng mas malaki na ang puso, or tutulog-tulog na, nagsi-seizure. So ito yung mga pasyente na kailangan within 24 hours madala na agad sa hospital. Different laboratory tests that you can actually do. Number 1 is CBC. Anong hinahanap natin sa CBC? An increasing hematocrit, and decreasing WBC, and a decreasing platelet. Yan ang binabantayan ng mga doktor. Number 2 is dengue NS1. It is done between 1 to 5 days of the illness, and it actually detects the presence of the virus during the early phase of the illness. Okay. Number 2 is the dengue IgG-IgM, or the dengue duo. This is done actually beyond the 5th day of the illness, and it actually can detect antibodies now, which will tell us if you had a past dengue infection or it's a present dengue infection. Okay, now if the test shows na may past infection ka pero positive ang IgG pero negative ang IgM mo, then you don't have dengue now. So past infection lang talaga. But if the IgM is the one that's positive, ibig sabihin positive na meron kang dengue ngayon. Okay. Now what are other tests that can actually be requested by your doctor? The polymerase chain reaction test, or the PCR, is the gold standard for dengue. Meron ding iba that request for the NAAT lamp and then the PRNT. Okay, and these are actually more high-tech tests that can actually confirm the presence of your dengue. It is actually very aggressive in empowering patients with a lot of information about dengue because it hopes that we can reduce the morbidity by 25% by 2022 and reduce the mortality rate by 50% by 2022. And because of this, very important again that if you see warning signs, please consult your doctor and be one step ahead. Dengue does not have any treatment, but it can easily be managed if caught early. So please see your doctor. I hope all the information that I gave you through this video was very helpful. Feel free to share it. And then thank you, and I'll talk to you again. Bye-bye.